Good morning, Maxwell. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for showing up. Let's get started. How's it going? Going over here. Workouts. All right. Good morning. Thank you for waking up and joining me for a yoga practice this morning. The only thing you may need is you could use a block later, but there's no props needed, and we're not going to lift any light weight in this program because we're going to be strengthening the upper body with our body weight for Chaturanga. So I'll demonstrate Chaturanga and go through very specific details, including the most important safety point for Chaturanga, placement of the hands, and then where the shoulders should be in relationship to your elbows. And so it's all about angles and then also engagement of the shoulder joint. Come to your mat and let's start. Hi, Maxwell. Thank you for coming in this morning. All right, can we move this over here? All right, move off the mat. I'll turn this way. How about that? Okay. All right, so come onto your hands and your knees and just do a couple of spinal rolls right here and cat-cow. So cow first, pressing the belly down towards the floor, and then round your spine up and spread the blades apart, cat pose. Lower down, cow, and then round up the spine, cat. Do that again, inhale, and then exhale, a smooth breath of air. Inhale again, and then exhale. Extend the right leg back straight. Tuck your toes under, press the heel away from you like that, and push the floor away, spreading the blades, and you can drop your head forward again, kind of like cat pose. Now lift up the right leg and hover. Flex your foot right there, abs in. So right here, a little core strength, turning on the entire body, your core, the leg, and now reach the left arm. If I have my foot flat on the floor, my left foot, it's a little harder. If I tuck my toes under, I have a little more stability, so try that. Try tucking your toes under. Spread your fingers. Set your knee down and your hand down. Left leg back. First, stretch the calf, the back of the leg. Feel the calf right there. Push the floor away, and you can drop your head forward. And now lift the leg, hover, spread your fingers of your left hand, and then reach your right arm. Pull in the abs, pull in the ribs. Then draw the shoulder down your back. Take another deep breath in, and then exhale, set your hand down, knee down, and turn around right here. Separate your knees, child's pose. Tap your forehead to the mat, then lift up onto all fours. Child's pose again. Shift your hips back, reaching the arms, press your palms into the floor, lift up. Table position, but shift forward more, bringing the thighs more forward towards the mat. Press your feet into the floor, hands in the floor, child's pose. So shift forward, shifting forward to almost like a plank, a knee plank right there, and bring it back. So warming up the body with some movement. There's your knee plank. And you can tuck your toes under right here as you come forward into that knee plank. Then lift the right knee up, set your knee down, shift back, child's pose with your toes tucked under. And try to tap your forehead to the mat, stretching your chest right there with your hands on the mat. Shift forward, knee plank, then lift up, child's pose. Now this time, lift your left knee up right there, set your knee down. So lifting up, one point of contact off the mat. Here's your plank, both knees off the mat. Building strength right there, press the floor away, knees down, shift your hips back. Tap the floor with your forehead. One more time, lift up your knees and hold. Take a breath in, set one knee down and lower down so that your arms are near your sides, then push back up, child's pose. Now we'll do the other side. So plank right here, set your left knee down, one point of contact or an additional point of contact, then lower down your elbows into your sides and then push back up, child's pose. So the number one safety point coming into Chaturanga is to draw your shoulders down your back like this, right? So shoulders down your back and hug the elbows in. So like this. So elbows hug in, and I'm turning my forearms or the eyes of my arms forward. My hands, my fingers are pointing forward. So when I bend my elbows point to the rear, right? So like that, and then lift back up. So I'll show you again. Here's the demonstration. Child's pose for a moment. Relax your shoulders. Shift forward, plank. Let's do it with your knees down first. Eyes of the arms pointing forward. Draw the shoulders down. Point the elbows to the rear. Hug the elbows in. Chest to the mat. And then lift back up. Well, chest doesn't have to come all the way down to the mat right there. Just so you know. In fact, support the body by hugging the elbows in, right? Safety point number one. Then lower down so your elbows are parallel to your back right there. And then push back up. And then reach the glutes back, child's pose. This time, just try. Come up, both knees up, or set one knee down. Shift forward, elbows hug in, lower down. Go ahead and come all the way down to the mat. And try not to drop into the mat when you're coming down to the floor. Don't make it a drive-by. Now press the feet into the floor, elbows draw in, look forward, cobra pose. Let's warm up the spine. So press the feet down and press the pelvis into the floor. Lift up and then lower. Do that again. You can tap the forehead down and relax the shoulders, the neck. Draw the shoulders back. Slide your hands back and then lift up your chest. Cobra pose. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Pedal your heels right and left. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step to your hands. So call that stage one, warming up the shoulders, lift up halfway, exhale and fold. Inhale and rise, reach up. Sun salutation, let's start with a warm-up salutation. A, inhale, soften your knees, reach up. Exhale, fold over your body, press your feet down into the ground. Inhale, lengthen, look forward. Then exhale, plant your hands as you bend your knees. Press the floor away with a hand, step back plank. There's your plank. Set your knees down if you need to. Just do just a slight shift forward so the heels are over the balls of your feet. Squeeze the thighs, draw your elbows in, hug the elbows in, and then lower down. Cobra pose. Pull the shoulders back, look forward, press the feet into the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe, pedal the heels. Lift up your right leg. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot forward and fold. Inhale and lengthen. Press your hands into the shins. Exhale and fold. Inhale and rise. Reach all the way up. Stretch. Arms overhead. Slight lean there. Exhale, hands to your heart. One more time. Sun salutation A. Inhale and reach. Exhale, swim the hands down the center line of the body, all the way over. Lengthen and look forward. Right there, flat back. Exhale, step back left, and then right. Look between the thumbs, hug the elbows in, and shift forward just a little bit. Lower, and hold at 90 degrees, or elbows bent slightly. Then lift up your chest through. There's your up dog. Press the floor away. Press the top of the feet into the floor. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do that one more time. And if you want to watch this time, just for a demo, look up here. If you're ready to go, let's do that vinyasa with a chaturanga one more time. Shift forward, plank. So my feet are about a little bit closer than hip width. My body's straight, pressing the fingers down, and I'm just slightly shifting forward. Then hugging my elbows in, lower down to right there. And then I'm going to flip my feet, press the floor away, look up, lift the heart, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Step to the middle of the mat. Bend your knees, turn your toes out, malasana for 3 breaths. So sink your hips back, elbows on the inside of your knees, relax your shoulders. So we'll do a few strengthening moves for the shoulders, for your chaturanga push-up, right? So this translates not only into your practice, but your strength too. The push-up, one of the best indicators of full body strength and control of the body. So we want to get really good at doing, especially something like a push-up, because you can do that anywhere if you need to do some strength training or have a good workout. All right, so now bring the hands behind the back, sit down on the floor, put your feet on the floor, hands on either side of your hips, right there, but then slide the hands back just slightly. So my shoulders are right over my wrists. If I just lean back, to just at a slight lean. Separate your feet hip width right here. And then just lift the hips off the floor and reverse tabletop right there. So this strengthens the chest, and notice your shoulders right there, lower down, and just try, bring the hips through and flex your feet right there. Bring it up. Lift the hips and look up at the ceiling, at your ceiling, and then lower down. Hips through the hands, and then lift up. You can also put your hands up on blocks and do this scoop through, flex your feet. Just do it 2 more times. Press the floor away, lift up the body. One more time. And lift up. And then lower the hips down to the mat. Grab behind the hamstrings, lower down all the way to the mat. Put your feet on the floor, palms on the floor. Glute bridge. So press your lower back into the mat, which tilts the pelvis. So lengthening the lower back right there. Palms press into the floor. Lift up your hips. Press your feet into the floor. Look straight up. Don't look to the sides. Just listen to my cue. Now lift the right leg up, straight right there. Set your right foot down. Lift the left leg up, straight, and set your left foot down. Lift your hips, press your palms into the floor. Right leg up. Just keep the hands where they are on the mat. Left leg up. And then lower. Lower your hips down to the mat, or glutes to the mat. Grab your knees and roll up, look forward, roll back. If you round your back, that roll can be a little bit smoother. Just try. Roll back and then tap. One more time, just try. And then hold right here. Cross your ankles. Come onto your hands and your knees. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees up. Downward facing dog. Shift forward plank. Press your fingers down. Lower down. Chaturanga. Hug the elbows in. Then lift the chest up through. Lift the heart. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Now set your knees down. Come onto your forearms. You can go ahead and clasp your hands right here. Press the forearms into the mat so you're spreading your blades apart rather than dumping into the shoulders like that. Press the floor away. Now reach the right leg and the left leg. So when your hands are together in a forearm plank, it's easier on the shoulders, much harder to have your forearms parallel or your hands separated like that. So know that you can always come here and breathe. 2 more breaths. Now place your hands on the floor. Look between your elbows and walk your feet in dolphin pose. So this is a great shoulder strengthener for Chaturanga or your push-up. Separate your feet just a little bit wider, reaching the heels towards the floor. Press the floor away. Now shift forward, plank right here. You may have to wiggle your feet back a bit. Lift your hips. Dolphin, walk your feet in a little closer towards your elbows. Reach the heels towards the back of the mat. Hollow the belly. Press the floor away. And then hug those elbows in, just like in Chaturanga. Breathe. One more time, form plank. Right here, move the feet back so you've got a solid plank right there. Press, you can clasp the hands right here, squeeze the thighs, and now set your knees down. Walk your hands back towards your knees, child's pose. This time, sweep the hands to your sides, turn your palms up. Inhale and then exhale. Place the hands on the floor, lift up the head, walk it forward. Come into full plank right here. So spread the fingers, shift forward. Practicing Chaturanga, hug the elbows in, lower down, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Let's bring it up into a lunge position. Step your right foot forward. Set your left heel down. Warrior 2. So right here, look over the front hand. And so your palm's facing down, my knee underneath the arm, that right arm, or that leg. Make sure that knee reaches back or out. Feel your inner thigh right there. Get a little bit low. Reach the left arm back just slightly. Press into this back foot right here. And then look forward. So it's almost like, well, you're energetically kind of rotating the shoulder back and keeping the palm facing down. Warrior 2, strong warrior position. Now turn your right palm up, reverse warrior. Reach the arm over the ear, breathe. Shift forward, side angle. So form on your thigh, left arm over your ear, or reach for the floor right there. Elbow on the inside of your knee, opposite arm over the ear. Turn your gaze up towards the ceiling. Then look down, press into the forward foot, warrior 2 to reverse. Straighten the forward leg. Reach the right arm forward. Reach as far as you can, press into the forward foot. Then turn your hip, the left hip towards the mat. Then reach your right hand down for triangle pose. Opposite arm up and over the ear. Breathe. Bend your forward knee, reverse. Let's take it to a balanced pose, half moon pose. Hand on a block or the floor, slide your left foot in. Lift up that left leg, hand at your hip to start with. reach the left arm up. Straighten your leg. Breathe. Look across your room. Breathe in and breathe out. Set your foot down. Warrior two. Reverse. Side plank. Reach the hands to the mat. Press the floor away. Step the right foot to the center. Go to this side and reach the opposite arm up. Right arm up and over the ear. Right here. Lift your hips. Maybe extend the legs straight. And lift the hips again. Look down at your hand. Place your right hand on the floor. Set your knees down, child's pose. So give your shoulders and arms a break for a moment. Forehead taps the mat. Lift up into plank. Chaturanga, our vinyasa right here. So Chaturanga, press your fingers into the floor. Upward facing dog. Look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Set your knees down. Walk your hands back to your knees. So another main tip for Chaturanga, when the placement of your hands, what tends to happen is this part of the hand will lift up whenever you're in that push-up position and lowering down. So if you really engage this part of the hand and press down, you'll find you have a much stronger position coming down. It's really hard though. So go ahead and place your hands on the floor. And I call this the triad of the hand. So my index finger to the inside are right there between my thumb and my index finger and to the thumb. So that space right there. So press that down right now. Got that? Now press your fingers down. So keep the thumb and index finger really pressing down firmly. Now come into your plank. And you can set a knee down if you need to. We've done this a few times, so you may be very tired or fatigued at this point. But press your fingers down, index finger and thumb. Shift forward, lower down, right there. Up dog, or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward. Spin your right heel down. Bring it up, warrior two. Right here. So reach the arms straight. Get into that lunge, that pressing your feet down, lunge position. Look over the front hand. And you're energetically rotating the left arm, that forward arm out. And you're internally rotating this back leg in, pressing the foot down into the floor. Turn your left palm up, reverse. So we'll slowly go through the warrior poses, hand behind the thigh, and then bring it over to side angle. So form here, reach up and over your ear, knee over your ankle. If you're newer, stay here. Otherwise, just try, reach down, fingertips touch the floor. Look forward, and then look up maybe, turning your gaze. And now reverse again. Straighten the forward leg. Here's your triangle pose. So you don't want to lock the knee in the front. You want to just have it soft, straight leg. Now reach the left arm as far as you can, as far as your body will reach forward. Keep pressing your feet down into the floor. Then you're going to turn the back hip towards the mat. So you're not between two planes of glass, right? You're turning that hip down slightly, keeping the left leg straight. Reach down, opposite arm up, and then maybe bring the arm over the ear. Keep pressing your feet down. And maybe we'll rock into the heels right there. Breathe. Bend your forward knee, warrior two. Go ahead and reverse. Half moon, balancing pose. Here's your challenge. Maybe. Thumb, fingers on the floor. Lift up the opposite leg, straight legs. Arm up. Maybe turn your gaze this time. Turn your gaze towards your hand. Breathe. Set your foot down on the floor. Warrior two. Reach the hands to the mat. And you're going to press your right hand into the floor and just try to use that one hand on the ground, Put your left hand down if you need to. Otherwise, kickstand, side plank right here. And reach up. Maybe stack. Straight body right here. Arm over the ear, lift the hips. Press your fingers down into the ground. Nicely done. Hand to the mat. Child's pose. And then we'll go through a vinyasa, including Chaturanga. Shift up, downward dog. Shift forward, plank. Lower down, so after you shift forward, hug the elbows in, press the index finger into the floor of the thumbs, and then lift up through, up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Push the floor away. Inhale. Set your knees down. Coming into dolphin pose. So a little repetition. Hands on the floor, press into the floor, legs up, right and left, right here, and breathe. And if it makes it easier on your shoulders, definitely clasp the hands right here. For dolphin pose, place your palms flat, and then start to walk your feet in. Push the floor away. So you're in that reverse V position. I'll call it like reverse boat. If we were in boat position sitting on the tailbone. Pressing the floor away with the forearms. Shift forward plank right here. And now walk up to the hands. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Step your right foot forward. Spin your heel down, warrior two. Set up. Reverse warrior, hand behind the thigh. Reach over the ear. And then side angle. Lower high. Right here, look up. Reverse. And then reach forward, place your right hand on the floor, lift up the left leg, flex your foot, reach the left arm, inhale, and then exhale. Set your foot on the floor. Warrior two, reverse, coming to side plank. So just try to make it one smooth motion right here. Spinning, lifting the left heel as you place the left hand down, and leg goes back. Stacking the legs, open the body. So reaching the arm. Look down. Downward dog. Knees to the ground. Child's pose. Give yourself a break. Going through a vinyasa with the Chaturanga. So key point, shoulders down, elbows hug in. Index finger, thumb pressing down into the floor. Lift the knees, shift forward, lower down, Chaturanga. Lift the chest up through, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up. Step your left foot forward, spin your right heel down, and warrior two right here. Go ahead, shift that knee over the ankle, knee out, reverse. Draw the shoulder back, and then side angle right here. Arm over the ear, drop it down, reverse, straighten the forward leg. Go ahead and press that forward foot into the floor, the back foot as you reach, then turn your right hip towards the mat, and then reach your hand down, triangle pose. Drawing the arm over the ear, lengthening, but draw the shoulder back and down. Look down at the floor. Lift up warrior two. Reverse. Here's your side plank. Sweep the hands over. Right hand, now just try. Press the floor. And again, the triad. The thumb to the index finger. Turn the heel, stack, or kickstand up over the ear. Press the floor away, and you want to draw the shoulder back and down. Inhale, reach, look down, hand to the floor, downward facing dog. One more time, plank, Come to your forms. Form plank, strengthening the upper back, the shoulders. Walk your feet in, dolphin pose, 3 breaths. Press the floor away. And you can experiment or add a little intensity to this dolphin pose by lifting up one leg, right leg, right there, and then lower, and then lift the left leg, pressing the floor away, strengthening the shoulders, right leg, and then one more time, left leg. Form plank right here. Come up to your hands, downward facing dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step to malasana right here. So turn your toes out, elbows to the inside of your knees. Look forward, press into the floor. Breathe in and breathe out. Relax the shoulders and the neck. Bring the hands behind the hips. And if you tuck your tailbone, maybe you can sit down gracefully and bring your feet forward. Use your hands if you need to, always. Shoulders back. Lower down. Forgot where I was going with that. We're going to do reverse table again. Let's practice that. This is a great way to strengthen the chest and the upper back muscles. So the chest has, the pectoral major muscle has adds a lot of strength to your push-up position or the chaturanga position. Hands behind the hips right there. Feet hip-width apart. Press into the floor. Now lift up your hips, reverse tabletop, and then lower down. And maybe you can scoop the hips through by pressing the floor away. Really press the floor away right there. More so than you think you can. Lift the hips up. Table, reverse table, and then bring it through right there. One more time. Look up, and then lower. And then sit on the mat. Grab your hamstrings, lower down all the way. Head on the floor, relax your body. That was a good strength practice for Chaturanga. On Thursday, another level of working on Chaturanga, strengthening the upper body, and this translates to a stronger push-up. So gather your shoulders underneath you. One final cool down pose. Press your feet into the floor. Surprisingly, a cool down pose. Lift up your hips. Right here, bridge pose. And you want to bring your right arm underneath and left arm underneath. Clasp your fingers. Press the edge of the pinkies down into the mat and look up. Breathe. Draw the arms underneath. Keep lifting. Breathing in and breathing out. And close your eyes here for a moment. Lift up higher. Unclasp the hands, lower the hips. Bring both knees into your chest, lower back to the mat. Extend the legs up straight. Grab your calves and give your calves a squeeze right there. Hands to your hamstrings and press your hands into the hamstrings. Give them a massage, just squeezing the hamstrings. And then maybe grab your big toes right there. Relax the shoulders, bend your knees, cross your ankles and roll up. Come to a seated position, facing my direction. Bring your hands to your heart, then the edge of the brow. With a light touch and gratitude, and then bring the hands to the heart again and thanks. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for working hard on upper body strength and Chaturanga. Please let me know if you have any questions. There are lots of details to cover going over Chaturanga. I totally get it. It's a strong move to learn and to strengthen the body with. So just takes practice. I'll see you again next time. Bye.